This is Relaytalk with your host DKEN, and today I'm gonna go over the remaining matches in round one. It's about 6 games, so this should be a short episode. I hope. It's kind of crazy that round one is already over. Like it's going by faster than I would have expected, and also we gotta cash in on the hype because usually the hype around these relays are really strong at the beginning, and once teams start to drop out, everyone forgets about it. So yeah, this episode is just a tad bit late. So sorry about that, but these are kind of a lot of work. I try to like watch all the games live, cause like it stays in my head better that way. But if I'm not able to, I have to like go watch it back, which is kind of a lot of time investment, I guess you could say. But I enjoy doing it. It's for you guys. And by the way, before we start recapping each game, I want you to go down into the description and click on the link that says game predictions. Please, 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 please submit a couple. It really helps out the show, like even more than just subscribing and liking. I'm going to annoy every single one of you listeners, every single episode to go fill them out because it gathers data on like which team is favored in this matchup and all that, and it's like information that I can use for future episodes, especially the predictions. Now, if every recap episode is going to have like some kind of learning moment, this one is that the competition in Relay 2 is better than in Relay 1. I don't know by how much, but it's better. I mean, like you have so many times that were sub 70 minutes, and like in Relay 1, those were really hard to come by. And I was just like looking at the bracket like before starting the show up, and just assuming we win, assuming a throwaway joke wins our next game, we have to go against Adrift or Hot Tourists, which is like, those are two crazy teams, and it's only round 3. There's like up to like 7 rounds. It's actually crazy, the fact that we're getting that insane competition like as early as we are, because the fact is every team is like pretty good. But yeah, I'm going to start today's recap with a run of my choosing. I'm not really going to go in order for all these episodes anymore because I feel like I just want to put the more interesting stuff in the front because people click off, as we know, on YouTube. Very short attention span. So we're going to start with the insane upset. Team Ireland wins over the new SSG community. This was a kind of a crazy game. Just about everything wrong that could have happened happened. So, context. The 1.7 runners actually didn't run first. They had to put 1.14 in the front because some IRL problems for one of the runners not being able to make it on time. So we had 1.14 first. And you might be thinking, well, okay, that's fine. That's chill. I mean, 1.14 is not like that crazy of a version, right? Most of the time losses we've ever seen in this relay have been from 1.7. We have like at least 3 like hour-long 1.7 runs, right? And this match we had our first hour-long 1.14 run. Yay, we're breaking barriers. So a lot of wrong things went wrong for the new SSG community. Specifically Zach, their 1.14 runner. The first kind of mistake happened when he broke the spawner with a blaze bed. Apparently, like, cut sandstone doesn't have the same blast resistance as, like, cobblestone or something, so, like, the setup didn't work, so the spawner just got blown up. And then Zach spent, like, 4 minutes just looking around for another spawner, only to find it embedded inside of nether brick, because, like, the fortress was, like, going all around and, like, overlapping with itself. And just the spawner was completely covered in nether brick. I mean, talk about mining out a spawner. Like, this dude had to go find the spawner block and like had to carve out like a little cage for it. But then he just took the reset because I think his reasoning was like he needed to make trading time or something like that. Which I guess is kind of a valid concern. I think like trading on the second day cuts off at like 17:30 or 17:40, something like that. Yeah, so that was just the first of resets, and on the second iteration, he gets 3 ironed because by the way, 3 iron beans. He got 3 iron ingots from the golem. Because the data pack didn't actually carry over when he recreated the world. And so, like, okay, that's not too bad. I mean, 3 iron, you can, like, light the portal with wood, right? Yeah, and that's exactly what he did. But he died doing that very thing because he made this, like, 2x2 area of, like, lava, and he just, like, fell in. And so, I mean, you died because you didn't get to carry the data pack over. And so, like, by this time in the run, Look from Team Ireland already had, like, an 18-minute village leave, which is not really the best, but, like, Zach was not really doing any better. And so by the time Zach, like, returns to the overworld, he realized that back when he had died in that, like, 2x2 area of lava, most of his stuff actually, like, didn't fall in the lava, but his TNT did. And it took him that long to, like, realize it. So he has to reset twice. And by this point, it's, like, 20 minutes, and he has nothing to show for, like, his run at all. And you know, he starts up his third run. By this time, Look has, like, a sub 28, like a really high sub 20, like 27-minute run, with the help of some sick stronghold nav. So pretty solid run. Sub 30, probably just as fast as I will ever get in this relay. So congratulations. And on Zach's side, yeah, man, the stuff just the scuff doesn't stop. I don't even know how to explain what happened during his trading segment, so here is a clip.
What? I'm not supposed to get 1/3. Why is there... What?
Did you put the...
Oh, I recreated, and I thought the data pack would be put in. Can I have FF, or do I have to play it out?
How many pearls can you get for this? Like, for the amount of emeralds that you have.
Let's see.
Yeah, you're not supposed to get 1/3, so I'm just gonna go ahead and give you the permission to give yourself however many pearls equivalent you would have gotten.
Alright.
Because that should not happen.
So yeah, if you didn't really catch what was happening, Zach got the 1/3 because his data pack obviously didn't carry over, and he wasn't protected from the glass bottle and scoot trade. I think that's how you say that, the turtle scoot. And apparently he was just allowed to falsely purchase pearls using cheats. This is insane. This is an absolute violation of every single relay law I have basically ever known of. These organizers are corrupt. I think we need to fire this referee. I'm gonna submit a application of complaints, if that even exists. This is completely undermines the integrity of relay. I think it started small, right, with the pink temple. I thought I was gonna let that slip with the changing colors of the sheep. I was like, all right, this is a little bit, but I mean, going into LAN and getting your pearls, this is absolutely insane. This is absolutely insane. I might boycott relay because of this. Can I get pearls? Can I get free pearls my run? Where's the referee? You know what? Instead of submitting that little application of complaint, I'm gonna do a backdoor. I probably shouldn't be telling you this. I'm gonna do a little backdoor trade, so that I can get that referee. See what I'm thinking? Anyway, obviously I'm joking. I don't really care. They were just able to get pearls, no problem, obviously. And by this time, Korobo from Team Ireland, doing 1.16, had a sub 18, pretty decent run. Once again, no mistakes from 1.16. That's just kind of a trend that's happening where 1.16 like is super clean, which could be kind of a data skew, considering that like we didn't really get to see as much 1.16 because it was like the last version and people choked a lot. But yeah, so far 1.16 looks incredibly clean. And I would love to say that by the time Zach had finished his run, but he didn't. He died to Dragon Breath in the end, and he had no safety bed. So he had to go all the way back, and he finished out with a 3 cycle. And his final time was like an hour and 2 minutes or something. I don't even remember. But it's the first 1.14 run that's an hour long, which is not really a title you want to hold. But congrats, you did it. Don't mind me making fun of you because I did not have a stellar run myself. So I have permission. I decided. Yeah, the scuff doesn't actually end there because Kai, the 1.7 runner for Team Ireland, didn't dig their tower hole deep enough for the Enderman to actually die when they go inside of the tower. So they just like wasted an entire night cycle and had 0 pearls to show for it. So you have this like completely strange like moment in the relay where you see this intense 1.16 run from new SSG community and Kai building a house and like watering up the tower for literally 0 reason. Then that's kind of it. I mean, Tofinator finished with like a 20-minute like 1.16 run. Kind of got screwed on the 1800 block blind, which I don't blame you for taking the blind because, I mean, if your 1.14 runner takes an hour, you're definitely behind. So got to take that risk. Just didn't pay out. And yeah, Team Ireland took the dub. Kai didn't even really get that crazy of a run. It was like 48 minutes, but they beat out New SSG community by a good like 15 minutes. So completely unexpected. This is the second time that the dead last seed has won in round 1 for Relay. It's happened this Relay Cup. It's happened in the last Relay Cup. So once again, I'm not saying it's scripted, but I think the organizers are running out of ideas. I just want to point that out to the crowd. Anyway, next game. We are single instance wins over Relaytalk. So this game was kind of interesting, I'd say. It was the first Sevillage seed, and I've been waiting for that for a very long time. I'll be honest with you guys. The entire reason for why Dark Oak is so much more common in this Relay Cup compared to Sevillage is that apparently they're easier to find, which I guess it's an okay answer, but like we didn't really have that kind of problem in Relay 1. Like we got Sevillages all the time in Relay 1, like incredibly common. But I mean, I won't complain. They're effectively the same except for like the travel time from Dark Oak to Village, but whatever. We will start with the 1.7 runs. It's kind of a sad run for Pasho. They ended up having to forfeit because they reset 3 times, which I think that's kind of their fault. I don't really agree what to like. Stuff has to go really terrible for you to reset, and the fact that like you did it 3 times, somewhere in there you probably could have kept going without the reset. And that was just kind of something I saw like throughout all these games anyway. Like there were just a lot of random resets that no one really had to do, or that like I couldn't really fully understand. I'm sure maybe he had a decent reason. I mean, like one of the resets I believe for Pasho was like a death in the Nether with like an insane amount of strays. That's technically recoverable, but you also have to take like the time cycle into context. So, I mean, I can only assume they were questionable at best. I don't really know what was going through their mind, but just unfortunate. And we did get clarification on the forfeit rule, because last episode I felt that it was kind of like the clarification was kind of muddy. Basically, if a runner forfeits, their run time is replaced with 90 minutes, and then the next runner gets to go. So it's kind of like you don't ever really forfeit if you think you have any shot in winning. It's more like a courtesy move for like your teammates, like letting them actually have a shot at like playing their version instead of like watching you play for an hour and 30 minutes. So yeah, that is the forfeit rule. Also, one of his resets, I believe, was that he died in the end, but he wasn't. But at that point, he wasn't really able to kill the dragon. Anyway, didn't have enough beds. The crystals were still active in a good number, and it's just heartbreaking. Like 1.7 is a ruthless version, and especially in tournament setting, like you gotta have everything perfect. And yeah. On the other side of the coin, Galactic had a sub 24, so nothing went wrong for them basically. Sub 24 is really crazy. Good job to them. And yeah, as I mentioned, we had our first village with whatever Marco running 1.14. I believe he ran 1.7 in the last relay, so kind of a change up in versions, which is cool. He does have a like sub 20. In 1.14, like actual RSG, which is like super sick, which is probably like the reason they chose to play this specific version for Relay. But yeah, he ended up finishing with like a sub 26. It was like insane pace at first, but like the triangulation was kind of long, and the end fight was also kind of long. With these two segments of the run, it's kind of like you got to play well, but also there's some luck involved. So it's kind of hard to like see why how much of it is actually like him being a bad player, which he's not, by the way, and him just getting like unlucky. Because like strongholds can be kind of crazy far. Because in 1.14, like you will have to travel the entire distance. In 1.16, you're just kind of blind there. 1.7, you take 2 steps and wow, you're there. Wow. And yeah, apparently Follow, who is on the locks playing 1.14, like went on to some like further lava pool, and that kind of like extended their nether split. So like by the time they went back to the overworld, they kind of like lost time and left at the village for like 18 minutes, which is not terrible, but it's not preferable. Like considering how bad your 1.7 runner played, I guess you can only assume that you're losing. So at that point, just have fun playing some epic classic. And obviously, El Richie closed it out with a great 1.16 run. And the combined time was like low 104, which was, I believe, the best Relay 2 time when it happened. So they broke the record at the time of their match. Correct me if I'm wrong. But just a clean game by We Are Single Instance. And that's kind of it for that game. Next, we have Adrift versus NDA, and Adrift wins this match. This, you might have heard kind of some news about this specific match, but I'll just spoil it out right here at the beginning of the recap. This was the first sub hour in Relay 2 history. I think Relay 1 history too. A lot of people said there was a sub hour in Relay 1, but I don't remember that happening. And then I got some like other intel that also didn't happen, so it's kind of like confusing. Did a sub hour really happen in Relay 1? It's like the Mandela effect, where like people remember different things about the same event. It's kind of creepy. I don't ever remember a sub hour happening in Relay 1, so I'll just say that this is the first sub hour in Relay history, which is insane. This is literally round 1 of the tournament, and they just pulled this off out of nowhere. It was barely sub hour though. It was like 5 seconds from being not sub hour, and I'll be honest with you, like Maljek almost choked it. Anyway, we'll just start with the beginning of the match with 1.7. The big story about this was that 4, who played for NDA, had a lot of problems, especially with his CJT tower. I don't know what CJT stands for, but I heard the commentators like saying that acronym, so I'll just go with it. It kind of looked kind of strange. I mean, he placed a lot of blocks when he could just be placing 1 block. But hey, because of his tower troubles, he ended up having to like go through 2 like different resets. Because like one time, like some lava burned up his leaves, and like he just couldn't like put them out because like the point where the fire had spread was like way too high. That's one reset, and then another reset was that like a creeper blew up thanks to a skeleton arrow. He said like he'd never seen that before. I'll just trust him. I guess creeper blowing up your tower is not that common, and it's unfortunate that happened like in a tournament setting. And just a lot of like mini struggles in general. Like I felt like 1.7 was conspiring to like slow down 4. Like it rained one night like during his run. It was like either the third or second night where like he was just like going out killing Enderman and just water fall from the sky. Oh man. I can't remember. Let me check here. Okay, yeah. I just checked the solo boards. He didn't even finish his run, which is kind of crazy. Just completely unlucky. I mean, like I said, 1.7 is a brutal version. Obviously, on the other hand, we have Spinnaker with like a high 23-minute run, just absolutely cracked. And Rikagan gets a low 22-minute, which I don't think was the 1.14 record at the time, but like low 22 minute is really good for Classic, and it came thanks to a lot of overtime travel, right? Which is kind of what you need for that time, or you could like alternately use nether travel and just get lucky. um, Now leading up to like 1.16, it looked pretty feasible to get sub-hour. But by the time Maljack had entered the end, like he missed it. Was it east-west perch? No, he did make it, but like the bed just didn't do anything, and so he just left early, if I'm remembering correctly. And like at least like one or two different times, you thought the run was gonna end, and then by the time it did end, it was so close to the wire, like you had no idea if they were gonna make it or not. So that was kind of intense, but congrats to them. They finished out a run in the fastest time that anyone has ever finished a run. And I don't want to like take credit here for their victory, but if you remember in the first episode of Relay Talk, I predicted that they were the best team, and look what happened. I manifested that. You're welcome, Adrift. You are welcome. Next game, we have Serious Dedication versus Team Delta. Another kind of small upset. This was, I think, the closest game of round one. So it starts off Frogs versus the Blazer. Now, Frogs kind of couldn't find iron in this random cave and decided to reset for that, which is kind of nuts to me. But I guess I remember he had like 3 bars of hunger, so like why carry on? Just reset the seed. And by the time they entered the Nether, they were just like neck and neck anyway. So I guess the reset did nothing. I don't know. That's also a theme in this match, by the way. Like resetting after like 3 minutes in the run and just catching up. Both of these runners never really ran into like any issues. Frogs did technically get the faster time. He got like a 26-minute run. But like in the context of the relay, no, it wasn't a 26-minute run. That was his combined, like his final time, including the 3-minute reset. So like, yeah, I think Frogs got like a 23 something, which was faster than what Blazer got. But because of like that reset in the beginning, like Serious Dedication was ahead going into 1.14. And 1.14 is kind of where Team Delta was able to like make up time, although you see Batatao, you see Batatao like taking another like early 3-minute reset because he crafted an iron pick instead of like a bucket. And like these little time wastes, man, they add up. Kind of following in Frog's example, I guess, resetting the first 3 minutes of the run. But like by the time like both exited the Nether, they were just neck again. Although Ready Band ended up like leaving the village first, which I almost think like wasn't gonna happen because Baratao looked like they were gonna like leave sub 14, which is just insane. But I guess they didn't have like enough wood for pearls for like a comfortable amount. So Ready Band leaves. I believe it was like an 18-minute leave. I know he's not like really happy with that, but I mean, what else can you ask for? And by that, like over the course of triangulation, Baratao like had better movement or something, I guess, because they entered the stronghold before Ready Band and also entered the end before Ready Band. So like his faster pace finally edged out the advantage that Serious Dedication had. And so by the time 1.16 rolled around, Team Delta had like a little tiny lead. It wasn't by much. It was like 1 or 2 minutes, like 1.5 minutes. And so 1.16 just kind of progresses, right? Nothing really crazy happens. Like there's no point in the match where like this team gains a whole lot of time or this team loses a whole lot of time. But what we did see was Microsoft Paint Perfect Travel by Shy. This is another instance of cheating. Using an external device, Microsoft Paint. How do we know that's the real Microsoft Paint? It could be a lookalike. We don't know. Guys, this is absolutely nuts. I'm kidding, of course. Microsoft Paint. Kind of funny. I don't think I've ever seen... No, I've definitely seen that somewhere. But just interesting. I guess it worked out. I mean, Shy completed the run pretty quickly. Found the stronghold with Ice by Spawn. And we saw, like, the runners getting, like, very, very close. But Bosker from Serious Dedication was always a little bit behind. And so, like, by the time Team Delta finished their run, like 20 seconds later, Bosker had finished his run too. So like this is like almost less than like 30 seconds of like margin of victory, which is absolutely nuts. Like normally don't think that these close runs really happen a whole lot. So you're like, okay, this time loss here, it might be like not a whole lot, so just fine. Well, in this case, it does matter. Like they won it by seconds, which is the closest of round one so far. Maybe even relay history. That's probably not the case, but I haven't seen anything like that, which is just insane. Congrats to Team Delta for hanging in there. Next, we have the Tri-County Titanium Mothmen versus forcingCD, and Tri-County wins. This was another really fast run by Tri-County. We obviously start with Illumina, the legend, running 1.7. Didn't really have the fastest run because of like second day nether, which is uncontrollable, I suppose. If the nether is really bad in the first day, you can't really commit to it. But to make up for that, he got 19 pearls from the towers. From the tower. Those are Bastion numbers. 19 pearls, dude. He had enough to pearl travel in 1.7. That's kind of crazy. Like pearl travel in 1. Anyway, finished out with like a 28-minute run roughly. On the other hand, BTC had some troubles and like had to reset again. There's all these games, man. Like half of these I'm recapping today, maybe even more than half. Like there's a reset in there. Obviously, our teams. I'll have to look up the stat maybe by next episode. But I'm sure like teams with a reset are like winless, which is kind of crazy. Maybe that's not true, but I don't really know. Another interesting thing that happened this round was that Koriway set the 1.14 tourney record with it. Let's see here, a 20:57, so a sub 21 from the guy who I'd say he's pretty washed, but great one by him. I know I kind of pooped on him a little bit. I treated him a little harsh in the predictions. 'Cause, I mean, I didn't really have a whole lot to go off of. I mean, he's terrible performance in Relay 1. And the fact that he didn't play a whole lot of Classic, I assume I didn't really get to see leading up to this thing. But insane run by him. He had the opportunity to use Nether Travel because he found enough diamonds to make a diamond pick. And that kind of gave him like an insane advantage, which was just insane. He got pretty lucky with the Nether terrain, I'd say. And I'm just happy for him. That's very nice. I'm sure it'll be beaten, this 20:57, but just cool to see. And obviously Xylonox pulls out another insane run. This seed was actually kind of nuts. Like there was like an overlapping Bastion. It was just kind of crazy. Probably well, at least for the Nether segment, the best 1.16 seed in the relay so far. Like Xylonox had like a roughly 5-minute Bastion exit, even after exhausting the entire gold block supply. But by the time like he reached the end of the run, sub-hour kind of slipped out of reach, and I believe their combined time was like a 104. So it was pretty close to do it to making the second sub-hour. But hey, that's just how things go. I think Tri-County looks like a better team than I originally thought. I think I'll give them credit. The reason I don't gravitate towards like big name teams is because, well, one, they're always busy doing other stuff, right? So there's just not enough time to really prepare for this small little relay thing that's happening. But also two, like they just find a way to choke. You could maybe chalk it up to like ego or something, but I don't know. That's a terrible take. I just realized what I just said. Anyway, they're proving me wrong. And good job for Tri-County. By the way, if you're wondering how they got their name, this is news to me, and I guess news to everyone. But here's the clip.
Yeah, I think I, along with many others in chat, are interested in how you guys came up with your team name.
So I was talking to Luna about this as soon as he joined because he was very confused on what our team name was. So basically what happened is we got like pinged to like come up with a team name. and none of us answered. And then we got pinged again, and still no one answered. So I was like, okay, I got this. So I went on like a random teamnamegenerator.com type thing and just spammed it a lot of times until I got Tri-County Titanium Mothmen, and here we are.
And now our last game for today. Team KEK loses to no. And our last game for today, the Fishermen win over Team KEK. Another upset, and this was another really close game. Not as close as Serious Dedication Team Delta, but yeah, man. This team, the Fishermen, they look really good. And it's unfortunate that our team plays them next. The Fishermen ended up finishing with a 102, which is the second fastest time so far, which is really scary. I mean, you had just had insane runs back to back from the Fishermen. Like, it's just insane. Also, another interesting thing was that GD Tafel, the 1.14 runner, had like a 26-minute run, which is like around 5 to 4 minutes slower than whatever Rakagan got, and Adrift's sub-hour. So like, it just an interesting observation. I mean, you could get like a 26, 24-minute run and still get sub-hour. I mean, it's possible. It just goes to show how well Axeroth and Crooks did, which, by the way, I think Crooks is probably hands down the best 1.16 runner in the relay. I mean, Mans has like 2 sub-10s in RSG, and I think the fastest time for 1.16 in the relay so far, has the 1.16 record. Just absolutely insane. I guess I'll go over it this match, but I spoiled it a ton, so we'll see how much remains interesting. I mean, it started off with like another reset from Team KEK, which is just always unfortunate. And once the Fishermen had the lead, they never really looked back. I mean, there was no terrible mistakes from the Fishermen. Team KEK didn't really make any crazy mistakes after that either. But just, yeah. And the fact is that, like, I can't even call it another reset, because the Talking Mime, who plays 1.7 for Team KEK, like, just died building another portal. And that was it. That's all it took. Just that, like, loss of 4 minutes or something for the Fishermen to just take the lead. And that was just the entire thing, basically. I mean, every run after that was just cookie cutter times. I mean, D-Max got like a 25-minute, which is very good. GG Tapple, like I said, 26 minutes. And Crooks with the 1.16 record. I mean, the story is like the Team KEK just couldn't like catch a break, which is unfortunate, because I can tell they're a good team, but just taking that round 1 loss to like an incredible team like the Fishermen, that's unfortunate. But yeah, congrats to the Fishermen for moving on in the winners bracket, and that's just about it. And before you go, don't forget to fill out game predictions. Please do that. Just wanted to have another reminder at the back end of this. Please fill out the game predictions. And that's kind of all I have to say for now. See you guys in the next one.